So we're ending our coverage of One Piece live action season 2 with this very video covering episodes 6-8. Not a lot to say, but I will save my criticisms for the end. Let's tackle all the things I liked about these 3 episodes in the forefront. The Psy Kangaroo just appears in Wapple's throne room, despite not having anything to do with Drum Island. If you don't know, this is a weird rhino kangaroo creature from Gaiman's Island of Rare Animals. I don't know why it's here, but it's here. The statue looks cool. And that's all I've got to say about that. So the animal budget going off of that went towards Chopper. Like literally nothing else appears in the flesh in these 3 episodes in regards to Drum, which is really weird in hindsight because Chopper looks great. That's fine. Heavy Point is an actual actor from the looks of it. That looks great. Brain Point and Walk Point look fine. They're great. And I was shocked that Heavy Point looked as good as it did because they never showed it in any trailer. So that was surprising. But when it comes to the walkies, meaning the woolly hippos, they're mentioned, but they don't show up. So no Robson. Robson isn't here. Okay. The hiking bear is shown in several statues. Is not here. Oddly, Maria, who is mistaken for a hiking bear, that's the whole joke. She plays a big part in all these episodes. So that's cool. But like, yeah, the Lafons, they're shown as a bust at one point, but they are not here. The big giant rabbits, not here. We don't see the snowbirds as far as I know. And that's about it. And yes, Prince Mushuru, which was Wapple's brother in the 9th One Piece movie, there are no references to him. He's a non-canon character. I just bring it up because a lot of non-canon things have come up. So yeah, he's not mentioned. Wapple's father is mentioned, not by name, but he is mentioned. And of course, we have Dalton. Dalton is shown to be the user of the cow fruit model bison. His powers are on display. That's cool. Not one mention of Zoan abilities actually takes place here, which is really weird. We never see Dalton in his full bison form. We only see the hybrid, but still it's weird that the term Zoan doesn't show up, even though Drum is the Zoan arc. I don't know what that's about. Chess and Kuro Marimo are here. They are performed very well. The costuming is great. Chess is meant out to be a full-on psychopath, which is cool. Oddly, Chess Marimo is not here. The combined version of Chess and Kuro Marimo, not here. Wapple's ship is not here, which is weird. I don't know what that's about, even though he is portrayed as a pirate and the blinking pirates are a thing. So the blinking being a big weird submarine, not here. Okay, as far as we know, not here. Here's the big problem, okay? All the plot points work how they usually do in the manga and anime. There aren't many big problems with the plot. However, the problems that do exist with the plot are all concerning one character, and that is King Wapple. You see, the problem with Wapple is not how he's being portrayed. It's not even the actor playing him. The actor playing him does a magnificent job. His portrayal is magnificent because people were often talking about how Wapple seems to be scary. He was scary in the manga and anime. Wapple is terrifying. People just don't think so because he's kind of goofy. But no, Wapple is incredibly horrifying. I've always liked Wapple. Wapple's crazy. That's not the point. The point is that a problem that appeared in season 1 shows its head here again at the finish line of season 2. Because what was brought up in season 1 was that there was an effort to try to make all the arcs of season 1 connect to one another in some way. That's why Arlong shows up at the Baratier. That's why Buggy was captured by Arlong, etc., etc. That didn't happen for the majority of season 2 because there are natural connections from the anime and manga with the arcs being shown off in season 2. But they had to overstep their boundaries and make something up that doesn't exist, which turns into a big detriment for Wapple's character. Because you see, we have a scene in which Nico Robin, who is all Miss Sunday at this point, give Wapple the Munch Munch fruit as a thank you from Crocodile for his monetary contributions to Baroque Works. This is a complete fabrication. The reason why this is such a big deal is because, one, I do like that we're seeing the Munch Munch fruit in the flesh. It looks how it does in the illustration that we see in One Piece magazine. That's fine. That's fine. That's completely accurate. Wapple does not get his devil fruit from Crocodile. The reason why this is a problem is because the entire character of Wapple is centered around the Munch Munch fruit. More so than many characters in this series, he is a weird personification of his own abilities because his entire persona is focused around eating. So you really can't have Wapple without the Munch Munch fruit, as it's been established throughout the series, because we don't know when he gets the Munch Munch fruit, but we know that he has it presumably at the Levelly that's shown off. And they say Reverie and not Levelly, which I thought was weird. Even in the past, when Hiruluk blows himself up, and that whole scene is done beautifully, by the way. All of Chopper's stuff is gorgeous. Chopper's voice is gorgeous. Everything about Chopper and Hiruluk is great. But even back then, Wapple has the Munch Munch fruit. And that's why Dalton can't do anything against Wapple, because what is a bison to a bazooka? What is turning into a cow going to do when this man is his full armory? He can eat all his weapons and blow you up with a cannon blast. That's the whole point. That's why Wapple is scary, because Wapple can do anything. That's why Dalton, as a bison, can't really oppose Wapple. That's the whole power struggle. But anyway, it's canonically Levelly now, but whatever. So, in that being said, there was no real reason to connect him to the greater plot of the Alabasta saga, because Drum plays a very important role in introducing the geopolitical standings of One Piece. That's Wapple's contribution to the saga, because in the past, he was at a Levelly. He did hit a child, Vivi, because of his stingy relationship with King Cobra of Alabasta. So that's your connection to the greater saga, his political contribution. He doesn't have to be directly involved with Baroque Works. I just think that's so odd. And then what's weird too is that when we see him in the past as the king of Drum Island before he's run off by Blackbeard, which is kept in the live action, that's very good. I'm glad that Blackbeard is mentioned. But he has his metal mouth back then. Now, it's never said, I'll put that out there, it's never said, but it was always my thought that the metal muzzle that he has is a part of the Munch Munch fruit. Because what is shown off in the anime and manga that is not shown off here is that Wapple has the ability to eat himself. When he eats himself, he is only his mouth. He is only that metal part. So it's very likely that the Munch Munch fruit affected his mouth specifically, which makes sense because the Munch Munch fruit itself, meaning the physical fruit, looks like a mouth. So it would make sense that Wapple was affected in that way, and that's just a permanent effect of the fruit. His hunger is because of the fruit. The reason why he is hungry all the time is because of the effects of the Munch Munch fruit. Therefore, his entire persona of being a hungry, greedy king in part is due to the Munch Munch fruit. He is gluttony personified. Even his name is a pun on him being a gluttonous politician, because Wapple could come from the word waffle and politician. But that's speculation. I don't think that was ever confirmed, but it's something to think about. But anyway, so that's why you have him with the fruit from the beginning with no involvement with any other party. That's why he's like that. So to disregard all of that and to say that he got his fruit from Crocodile just makes no sense to me. So making that the case just seems very superfluous. And now it makes me fear for the future. And this may sound facetious, but is a Cypherpole agent going to show up in Skypiea? I'm asking, is a Resident of Water 7 going to show up in Skypiea? Because Skypiea, like Drum, is very isolated. It has a lot to do with the world at large, but the events of the arc are isolated from the greater scope of the world. Same with Drum. We have connections to other parts of the world in Drum, but the events of Drum aren't really concerning the greater plot that's going on at that time. There's no Baroque Works presence in Drum. So to make that the case very forcibly is odd. But with that being said, too, the Munch Munch Fruit abilities are changed in a very odd way, because while we don't get Chess Marimo, meaning Chess and Kuro Marimo aren't eaten by Wapol and turned into a combined freak, we get like weird amalgamates of the Drum Kingdom army as Munch Munch Factory mutants. And I'm having trouble collecting my words here, because I don't know why you would do that. They've really kind of just stretched out something that didn't need to be stretched out for whatever reason, I guess to make Drum Island more climactic. But like, it's weird. It's strange. And then what's weird about this is that once Wapol is defeated, the abilities inflicted on these people by being eaten by said Munch Munch Fruit user just disintegrated by Wapol's defeat, treating the Munch Munch Fruit in a similar way to, like, say, the Hobby Fruit. But to be fair, I will give them a lifeline here. We don't know how the effects of the Munch Munch Fruit actually work when people are involved. We don't know if Wapol is knocked out, that those people affected by the powers of the Munch Munch Fruit just turn back to normal. So that's a gray area. I'll give them that. But it's weird that we went the extra mile to make a bunch of amalgamations, but we don't have the main amalgamation in Chess Marimo. That's weird. And the reason why it's weird is because I think the reason why we don't have Chess Marimo is because they decided not to have the various Rumble Ball transformations of Chopper. So because we don't have the Rumble Ball transformations, we don't have Chess Marimo, because the two are connected, as Chess Marimo was used as a punching bag to show off the various Rumble Ball transformations of Chopper. So I guess those two are linked in that way, and that's why if we don't have one, we don't have the other. Frustrating, but it honestly is what it is. Otherwise, everything else is fine. I know that was a lot of complaining, but it's weird that we got so close to the finish line to mess it up in such a weird and unnecessary way. And it's a shame, because Wapol is fine otherwise. He's great. He's portrayed extremely well. It's just that this one part makes the whole house of cards fall down, and that's just a shame. But it is what it is. It honestly is what it is. I have no more to say about it. Overall, I liked everything else. The Munch Munch Fruit powers are shown off to be kind of cool, because it's portrayed as if Wapol's building his mouth as it expands, which that's kind of hot. I like that. Otherwise, yeah, season 2 was good overall, except for the end. I just think portraying Wapol in this way was odd. To say that he's connected to Baroque Works, I think that was totally unnecessary. But overall, good season, and I do hope season 3 just focuses on the fights in Alabasta when we get to Alabasta proper. But with that being said, I did enjoy the season despite my complaining. It was done better than I expected would be. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do for season 3. And with that being said, if you like this video and you like my content, hit the like button. And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button followed by that bell so you never miss a video. In addition, if you could, please hit the hype button. With that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede. What?